Hello, welcome to Curriculum Night. My name is Adriana Hunsaker. I'm the 8th grade instructional teacher for Team White. I actually just graduated in December of last year and started at the junior high in January. So this is officially my first full year. A couple things about me. During quarantine, I picked up kayaking. I'm a very outdoorsy person. This is me at the 2016 World Series parade. I am a huge Cubs fan. I love hiking. Like I said, I love being outdoors. On the right, that's me in Wisconsin hiking. And then on the left, that's me in Wisconsin skiing. And then behind here, these are my dogs. They keep me busy, very, very busy and very hairy, shedding a lot. Let's see. We are lucky to have a paraeducator in our class helping out. That is Marissa Smith. She was a CNA for 9 years, and this is technically her second year. She came around the same time I did last year. Fun fact, she loves cruises, and her favorite place is Jamaica. Some expectations for my classrooms. I like to keep my rules very simple. I tell the kids just to be kind to one another, to be kind to me. I am kind to them, and that goes along with respecting each other and just creating an atmosphere for learning. The next biggest thing, I tell them to challenge themselves. It's their job to work. It's my job to teach them, and I want them to be challenged so that they are learning to their full potential. This happens by setting personal goals. I've met with your children a couple times throughout the beginning of the year just to see what their personal goals are, whether that's organization, getting in homework, getting better grades, in a specific area if they want to improve. I know a lot of them have ideas for high school. There's a lot of different classes we're going to introduce them to this year. And in 8th grade, I just talk a lot about preparing them for high school. You can reach me if you ever need to chat. My email is up here, hunsakad@qps.org, or you can call the Quincy Junior High phone number is down there. My extension is 1422 because my room number is 422. A big place to find information is Clever. So that can be accessed online. Your child logs in every day to Clever and Skyward, so they should be able and be aware of what their password is at home. They can, so if they need to do things online, that is where they will find most things, and I'll go into that here shortly. I am available before and after school if for some reason you need to contact me or just have a question about anything. You can call me or you can email me. I check my email multiple times a day. Okay, so this is what I was chatting about. This is our Clever Classroom page. So once they sign into Clever, they'll see my name, Miss Hunsaker, and then these are the apps that we use in my class. Down over here is this 8 instructional white week. This is what it looks like once you click into it. It has the week, it has the classes, and what we're focusing on. I edit it in real time just in case we omit something or add something. If for some reason a student isn't in school or if they need to look back and see what they've missed. This directly correlates with a board that I have in the room, and that just shows, what they need to turn in, what is homework, what is classwork. Anything in blue and green needs to be turned in, and then red is quizzes or something important. Black is just informational. You could see during WIN, we've got speech on Thursdays, and we also do second step, which focuses more on their behavioral and emotional learning, and that has been going really well. Let's see, I also had quarter meetings on a couple weeks ago. Okay, so the morning routine, they come upstairs at 7:25. I urge them to get free breakfast. We are lucky that breakfast and lunch is free. I tell them to take it, bring it upstairs. I don't mind if they save it for lunch. I actually have a mini fridge in my room, so if they need something saved, I could save it for lunch. I'd rather have more food than not enough. They eat. They've got plenty of time to eat, even though it says 8 or it says 7:45. We don't really start until about 8:10. So they've got about a half hour at least to eat and fill their water bottles, go to the bathroom. I also have on their masks. I tell them every day, I've got plenty of masks. I've got extra masks, different sizes, disposable. I have a hamper for the end of the week that I wash all the masks on Friday and have them for Monday. So if any reason, I've given each student 10 masks. So there are plenty of masks for them. The next thing I do is I take attendance and lunch count. Like I said, that's free, so I urge them to take advantage of the hot or cold lunch. Then I do announcements and we do the pledge. Then we move on to science. I try and do science and math in the morning because I think it's they can be out of their seat, kind of things that they could do hands-on learning, and it seems to get them moving, which is very necessary for junior high kids in the morning. So for science, we've been looking at the scientific method, and then we go into like physical and chemical properties, and then we go into different materials that products are made of, and we look and we really break that down then into the elements. So that's kind of our focus for now. And some resources that we use, Nearpod, which has been phenomenal. The kids have done great. It's more of like it's like a chat room with video. I could put a presentation up. We can take polls. It's a great resource, and it's a better way to get the kids discussing. Sometimes in class they get nervous with others in the room and saying their opinion. So it seems to work really well, and the resources are just very interesting. Another one is McGraw-Hill. That's their physical science book that could be found through Clever. That is another piece that we will use for a resource. In math, like I said, I love to do math in the morning and bring games, and they have whiteboards. We have a smart board. I just got a smart board, which is super, super exciting. And I try and do as many games as I can. I try and make it fun, try and get them moving. They seem to like math. We do, so like I said, we're doing real numbers. We're taking a quiz on that. And then they go into equations, which takes up a big chunk of time, and then functions and graphing, which is pretty difficult and challenging. And then we go into geometry. So that's kind of our focus this year. And then extra resources that we use, Alex, which is at their level. And then we do a daily math. And that's just to keep skills like common skills, make sure that we can practice them so that they don't forget, and that we can use them during more advanced math. Okay. The next portion is our history, development of modern America. I'm super excited about history this year because the focus is kind of a switch from starting at one time period and going forward. It's more about concepts. So, different times in the U.S. history where economics was similar, or what we've been focusing a lot on is human rights. What throughout U.S. history, who have been denied human rights, who have gained human rights, how have they gained human rights, how does that affect today, and just really, and then looking at conflict as far as what started wars, why things happen, and how we can compare and contrast. Our resources for these are Discovery and Nearpod, and this is very new to me, and just with the short amount of time that I've had to play around with it, I am super, super impressed. The videos are very vibrant, and the Nearpod, like I said, is a great tool for them to discuss and collaborate. So then after history, we go to special, which is either gym, art, or computers. They do a week rotation. That gets them up and going in the middle of the school day. I always joke that they wake up after special. So I really try and get them moving in the morning. After special, we have WIN, which is for what I need. And this is a nice recap kind of for the middle of the day. It's a great time to work on organization. It's that extra little study hall, or possibly I'm reteaching, or if we didn't have enough time in class, it's a time where they can work on something. We also do second step once a week, which is behavioral and emotional learning. We can also work on progress monitoring for goals. So we use Alex, No Red Ink, MobyMax to get as extra resources for that. So WIN is kind of a collaboration of multiple things. Then lunch, 12 to 12:40. Like I said, there's free hot and cold options. We usually watch Disney Plus, which has been a lot of fun. And possibly have study hall if they need anything if they have anything that they want to catch up on. They can refill their water bottle, have a bathroom break, wash hands. It's just kind of a relaxing time. They're allowed to have their phones. During reading, we have after lunch, which reading and writing are fun. It's nice to have all the kids in the same class because we can incorporate, like, something we're doing in science can be our reading, and then we can write about it. So history and science get intertwined with reading and writing sometimes. Right now we are focusing for reading on a book study of Touching Spirit Bear. We did an author study of Ben Michelson, and we've really just dissected the book and tried to go through it because they will be going into small groups for their independent reading next. So really, really trying to show, what's most important, pulling information out, and just going through a book. Resources for reading, we use Newsy LA, we use MobyMax. And I think that is it for reading. Okay, writing is the end of the day. I love writing at the end of the day. They're very awake and usually wanting to share stories, so it's a great time to have writing. And writing is actually communication arts. So the focus isn't just professional writing, which is wonderful. They have journals, they do a big writing piece and then a big speaking piece. And during the quarter, then we spend time practicing those tools or the things that they will need to do those big pieces. Right now, the focus is on memoirs, which is great. We've been looking at the book study from Ben Michelson. We've been looking at the main character from Touching Spirit Bear and seeing how he writes and how he conveys his message, and what is the so what point is what we call it. What is the lesson? What is the message? And the kids are working on their own memoirs to try and emulate some of these things that the writers do to convey their message. Let's see here. Then we do presentations. So there's small presentations like impromptu speeches, brown bag speeches, and then we do a little bit of grammar with no red ink. And the students are working, when they do presentations, they usually use Google Slides to get information and present in front of the class. Okay, so for assignments, our assignments are 60% performance, 40% practice. So performance is going to be your tests, your quizzes, some big projects, and then that practice is going to be more for a completion grade, more them working on mastering whatever subject, whatever assignment it may be. Where the grade is really to focus on student achievement versus student habits. I really, really try and give the students multiple opportunities to get work done. There's that big chunk of time in the morning. They have 5 minutes between classes where I give them some free time. That's a lot of time during the day if they need to finish something. Also, during lunch, they can take time and work on something. After school, I'm available. And I don't know if I said during WIN as well. So there's a lot of time. Really, once a student hasn't done an assignment, it's more because they have chosen maybe to move on to something else, or they haven't done it, and not usually for time. So that's something that I focus on. So one thing, the one way we keep students honest and on top of their stuff is to check Skyward for grades and missing assignments. I try and do that during WIN at least twice a week. This is like what I said as far as the free time they have. And then I say at the end to take homework. However, usually if they haven't used their time wisely, they're usually not taking it home for homework. So at that point, if they have missing assignments, then that's usually a conversation I have with them on how to use our time a little more wisely. Late work, like I said, they shouldn't have late work. The only way I could really see late work is if they had missed a big chunk and haven't kept up on their assignments on Microsoft Teams, or Clever, which Clever has their assignments and then they turn them into Microsoft Teams. So the only time I would see late work is if maybe they were missing school, or they've had a hard time organizing their time, their free time. Like I said, they're in my class and they've got time and I'm reminding them. So that shouldn't be an issue. Let's see here. Oh, I usually give them a deadline. So the only time I don't allow late work is if we've done the test and we're moving on and I don't want them to fall even more behind. So I've given them the opportunity. I've given them a deadline to turn in all late work, and then I won't take it, but they will have multiple opportunities before that. And then I just like I have said, just to stay on top of absences, I want them emailing. They can use Microsoft Teams to chat with me and ask how they could stay on top of their work. This is kind of what I've said as well. Absent work, if possible, have student do work at home. So they get the days they've been absent plus one additional day. However, that can get a lot, especially with all these COVID absences. So really, really, if they're healthy enough, try and have them stay on top at home with Microsoft Teams. I try and do as much as I can on Microsoft Teams. It gets a little difficult to do science with the hands-on and math, but writing and reading and history can be done on Microsoft Teams. So check the schedule on Clever. That's the easiest way. And then shoot me an email, or they can shoot me an email. And then, like I've said, they've all turned in assignments on Microsoft Teams and know how to do that. Okay, thank you so much. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.